Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans because we believe we're the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co-host, Isaac,
And I'm Kylie. Feeling
and
a lot better.
feeling much better. um, and we promised Calvin will be here today. He has missed the last two episodes. That's life sometimes. But welcome to episode 60. 60 freaking episodes. I can't believe it. Can you?
No, I can't. It's kind of crazy. We were just two idiots on Zoom, recording in our uh, rooms, and we now are under Fired Up Sports. We love them. Uh,
Oh, yes, we do.
we've done a lot. We've been through a lot.
Yeah.
We have a co-host now, another one who has missed two episodes and is late to this one.
Don't worry. Calvin is a family man. He is a busy man. He is allowed to be
Yes.
late. That is
He
how life
actually is
is.
dealing with his daughter right now, so that's
Yeah.
he's allowed to.
Yeah.
um,
I just can't believe it. This whole podcast really started because the two of us one day at work were just like, "You want to start a podcast?"
yeah, because I was literally like, because one of our friends and I had a podcast before, and I was like, I kind of miss doing it, just talking sports with people,
Yeah.
and um, I know what I want to do differently. I know what I want to do now, and
I remember that first podcast. I actually did a story for that podcast during the pandemic for one of my
did you
classes in
really?
college. Yeah, I interviewed Gnome about it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Oh
we talked.
wow.
Yeah, we it was what was it? It was like a project about what people are doing to spend their time during the global pandemic. You think it's crazy that it's been 3 years now
To the
since
day.
to the day, 3 years to the day when the world shut down. That
Yeah,
was
I remember I don't have Snapchat anymore, but I did at the time. And it was March 13th. It was Friday the 13th. And that was the last work day for me before normalcy was no more. And I had dropped, as I usually do, you know me, dropped a crap load of boxes onto the floor, as I always do. And I was like, happy Friday the 13th. Then that weekend, I went up to Atlantic City. And then that was the last trip I ever took pre COVID.
Atlantic City. Good times. Good times.
Atlantic City is so trashy. I love it.
Hey, my buddy had his bachelor party in Atlantic City. Let me tell you, I will never forget that weekend. I probably should though, because if my future wife ever finds out what we did during that weekend, she will kill me. But
I'm surprised you remember any of it at all.
I am too. It was well, that's a story for another day in a different podcast. But anyway,
Not for a podcast.
yeah, now for this show. No, I was to the day. I think 3 years ago to the day. Me and my roommates were out at Applebee's, and
Of
we
course
got
it
to
was freaking
Of
Applebee's.
course it was. Hang on, I just dropped my phone over here. Let me grab it. But we were at Applebee's, and I remember just getting a message on my phone that the Jazz Thunder game had been postponed because Rudy Gobert was sick, and I was like, oh boy. And then
Dude.
and this was right after Rudy Gobert had like intentionally touched all
Touched
the
all
microphones.
the
I was
microphones.
like, oh, you guys are crazy. This is my attempted French accent. You guys are crazy. It's nothing but it's just the flu. Well, a few days later he gets COVID. So yeah. By
He
the way,
said
if
it's
you're
Donovan
still one of
Mitchell.
the people who is saying it's the flu, I had COVID a couple weeks ago, and that shit is not funny. That shit is not fun to have. All right. It's kind of like the flu, but worse. I mean, this is the second time. The first time I had it, I had a fever so high I was hallucinating. So,
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
yeah, and I got it before it became a pandemic. I am convinced that COVID was in this country way before it became an official pandemic because
Welcome,
everybody-
Calvin.
Oh, there he is.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good. Celebrating
just
episode
talking
60.
Yeah, we were just talking about how like 3 years ago the sports world was crazy.
Yeah,
What
3 years.
changed?
It's the 3-year anniversary of when everything shut down. But no, I remember we got back to our apartment and I saw all these cancellations, and then this was right before spring break was about to start. And
Yeah.
I think me and my buddies were trying to plan out the spring break trip, and we had to cancel it because we were like, I don't know. And it's a shame. I never saw that apartment again. Good times in that apartment. So,
But remember how we all felt when sports was finally back in some capacity?
Yep.
I was so happy and also kind of annoyed because part of me was like, they really shouldn't be doing this, but I guess the world goes on. Honestly,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Well, with Calvin here now, welcome after 2 weeks of absence.
Thank you.
What a good time for you to be back because as of today, Baker Mayfield to the Bucks, Carson Wentz released by the Commanders, Darius Slay is due to be released by the Eagles. All three of our teams have made some notable moves, and Heineke to the Falcons, which is
Yeah,
kind of weird.
I have the free agency tracker up here with all of the moves that have been made.
Because it's kind of crazy.
Well, I'll tell you what, the teams that haven't made any notable moves right now, the Cincinnati Bengals.
They lost Jesse Bates.
Yeah, the Bengals lost some players, but they haven't made any new additions. So I have the NFL's free agency tracker for additions, and the Bengals so far, their only addition is just they've re-signed Jermaine Pratt.
I wouldn't sleep on the Bengals.
No.
Trying to shoot for Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
The other team that hasn't made any big changes so far have been the Packers for people coming in. They have only re-signed their kick returner, Kayshawn Nixon.
Well, the Packers situation is they're kind of waiting on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers messes everything up for literally two teams, the Jets and the Packers. So it's like
he's going to the Jets though.
Yeah,
and actually, so I forgot to mention this. Pat McAfee is, I'm pretty sure, alive right now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the announcement.
And also the Phillies are.
I think Aaron's on the episode with him, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Quick update: the Bills are re-signing Jordan Poyer. This episode, by the way, is the 1-year anniversary of the infamous episode. The episode I think that made this podcast. When in the middle of recording, Kylie and I started freaking out because Carson Wentz got traded to the Commanders.
Dude, yeah.
That was the episode I think that made this podcast. It's the 1-year anniversary, so I'm fully expecting something like this to happen again.
Dude, I was pissed.
Speaking of Carson Wentz, before I get into trash Baker Mayfield, speaking of Carson Wentz, I'm very curious to see what my Commanders do now since we only have one quarterback on the roster, and that being Sam Howell.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Kylie were texting back and forth the other day, and she shot something in the air about Matt Ryan. And then when Matt Ryan got released by the Colts, then I thought maybe it could be a reality. But
I was making a joke. That would be terrible for you guys.
Honestly, it would. But I think that the whole organization is set in stone that they're running with Howell this year, and they're going to continue to run with Howell, and they just want a veteran backup just in case something does happen to him. So
possibly,
if that is the case, then I guess a guy like Matt Ryan isn't too bad to have as a backup on your team.
No, not at all.
Everybody knows who I want, man. 4:00 today, you can start contacting them. Yeah.
Well, here's what the Commanders. Here's what the Commanders have done so far. So their free agency signed so far. So they've signed Andrew Wiley to a 3-year, $24 million contract. They've agreed to terms with Nick Gates on a 3-year, $16.5 million deal with a max value of $18 million and includes $8 million guaranteed. So that's for their O-line. Defensively, they've franchise tagged Daron Payne and signed him for a 4-year, $90 million contract that includes $45 million fully guaranteed, $60 million in total guarantees, and a $28 million signing bonus. He got paid. Linebackers, they've signed Cody Barton to a 1-year fully guaranteed contract and re-signed David Mayo on a 1-year extension. In terms of cornerback, this is brand new. They claimed Cameron Dantzler off of waivers from the Vikings, and they've re-signed Danny Johnson on a 2-year deal worth up to $7 million with $2.75 million guaranteed. So they're really going for their defense right now because I
Yeah.
feel like that's been an issue for the Commanders the last couple of years, and what their offense has slowly started to take form, but their defense is what they've really been trying to work with, and it's been a good defense. I mean, they've got some players, but I think injuries have really played a part in that, so they're trying to get that all fixed.
2 names that I would watch for the Commanders on defense as well are 2 guys from Philly, Darius Slay and C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
CJ is definitely not leaving, and if Slay goes anywhere near Washington, I am committing war crimes.
Well, we see it a lot nowadays where the guy wants to go into the same division. We saw with Deshaun Jackson. We saw with Joe Hayden.
There's nothing like beating up on your former team.
I just watched.
That was
I just
because of
watched
Chip
podcast.
Kelly.
It doesn't matter. Deshaun Jackson. I watched the podcast the other day, and he said out of his mouth specifically, as soon as they let me go, I knew that I had to play in that same division as them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Defender of the North says Slay is probably going to Dallas.
No.
He's not
They
going
just
to
got
Dallas.
Gilly.
He doesn't like Dallas. He said no to Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas says Dallas traded for Stephon Gilmore from Indianapolis.
Yeah, they just got they just got Gilly. They're not gonna. There's no way. It wouldn't work. That's 3 number 1 cornerbacks, and one of them would have to play in the slot, and neither of those guys are slot guys. Trey, Gilly, or Slay.
But at the same time, Gilly is not who he used to be.
100%, but Gilly's still Gilly.
Yeah, Gilly's still Gilly, and I'm still going to give him his respect, though. Like, I'm not – if it's a 50-50 ball, I am not.
Unless it's against Terry McLaurin. I'll take my chances with Terry every time.
I mean, A.J. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, look, Terry McLaurin is the 3rd best wide receiver in the NFC East. Like –
yeah, no, 3rd best, yeah. I can see that. I mean –
who's the 2 in front of him?
I hate to admit it, but I think
I'll give A.J. Brown, but who's
A.J. Brown definitely. But this is biased for sure. Like I would probably take McLaurin over Smitty.
I think he's the 2nd best because A.J. Brown's the only other receiver in that division that I would put above him because Devontae Smith is amazing, but he's
not
also
being
still,
biased. Yes, I would say McLaurin.
He is also still young. He's got a long way to go.
He's had 11 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
McLaurin's had 11 different. He's had 11 different people passing the football in his 4-year career.
Jesus Christ, Washington is a shit show.
Is that? Hang on, I have to fact check that.
Look it up.
I have to.
Terry McLaurin has had 11 guys.
No, I know it's definitely McLaurin over.
I'm about to find something really stupid. I'm gonna look at this and be so stupid. So Terry McLaurin, he was signed in 2019, right?
Yep, and with Sam Howell throwing him the ball last year, that made him for 11.
Here we go: Case Keenum, Dwayne Haskins, Colt McCoy, Alex Smith, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Garrett Gilbert, Carson Wentz, Sam Howell. That's
and Logan
10.
Thomas. Logan Thomas. He played a whole quarter for us at quarterback when we had that injury problem.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's
wow.
And we make fun of the Browns for their quarterbacks. Wow.
So
because there's so much to make fun of Washington for, we ignore the quarterbacks.
Yep.
Washington probably deserves it.
In Terry's 4 years, he's had 11 different quarterbacks, which is absolutely incredible.
Defender of the North
Smith
says
not even better than Lamb. I would actually argue that he is better than Lamb.
You can argue that one. CeeDee Lamb, you can argue that one, I think.
Because Smitty had over 1,000 yards, less receptions, and was not the number 1 target. CeeDee Lamb was the number 1 target on a pass-heavy team. You could argue Smitty is better than Lamb. You could.
I give CD's minor production to his quarterback, though. His quarterback shit.
Maybe. Speaking of the Cowboys,
they're getting rid of Zeke.
Yeah, because they've given Tony Pollard the franchise tag instead of Zeke. So
Zeke wouldn't be on a franchise tag.
Don't sleep on Zeke being signed to Miami. And if he is signed to Miami, everybody says Zeke's not Zeke anymore, but that offense right there will open
He's
Zeke.
Still going to be ass.
Well, probably. Before we jump over to that real quick, Kylie, here's what the moves the Eagles have made so far. Excuse me. So they primarily re-signed people. Boston Scott's agreed to a 1-year, $2 million contract. Jason Kelsey is back for another year for 14 and a quarter million with
Yeah,
another
that's
500,000 incentives. Brandon Graham has been re-signed to a 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. James Bradbury re-signing on a 3 years, $38 million contract that includes $20 million guaranteed and a max value
Huge.
of $44 million with incentives. The only new
Yeah.
player you guys have brought in so far, Rashad Penny. You've agreed to terms on a 1-year, $1.35 million deal that includes $600,000 guaranteed. So not many
Yeah.
changes, but the Eagles really didn't need to.
So we're losing. We lost. Shit. Why am I blanking? Javon Hargrave. That is the biggest loss we've had so far.
Didn't he sign to San
Um,
Francisco?
Yes, he signed
Yeah,
at
the
San
40
Francisco.
Winers.
And
He
that is crazy.
signed a 4-year, $84 million deal that includes $40 million guaranteed.
That
whiny
makes their
ass team.
defense 10 times crazier.
10 times crazier, bro. I hate the 49ers and I hate their fans now. And we're up 1-0 on the Yankees. Suck it, Isaac.
Kylie, for the bottom of my heart, suck these nuts.
It's
It's preseason. It doesn't matter until the April series.
I know. Anyway, so losing him is huge. Losing Darius Slay supposedly really sucks, but it's a loaded corner class, so
Mhm.
I think we can definitely get his not replacement because it's kind of hard to replace Slay, but to kind of get a rookie in his place and on this team where he'd be able to thrive. So I'm confident we can find not exactly like a replacement is, for lack of better words, that's what I'm going to use, but finding a Slay replacement in the draft is what we're going to do. So signing CJ Gardner-Johnson's the key now.
One surprise I had from you guys though was Rashad Penny over Miles Sanders. I love Miles Sanders. I don't know why you guys are getting rid
See,
of
the dogs agree.
even the dog agrees. Like Miles Sanders is a top, I think one of the top backs in the league.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys, but the Eagles are notorious for not valuing running backs, which they shouldn't anyway. I mean,
We saw that with LaShawn McCoy.
right. Well, that was different. That was Chip Kelly. That's different story. Chip Kelly's a piece of shit. That's different. I hope Chip Kelly's pillow is uncomfortable and hope he steps on a Lego. But
So,
he
quick
is
update.
a running back.
Just a quick little update, real quick. Aaron Rodgers is live on the Pat McAfee show, and it's gonna be a while because he's recapping his entire career, talking about how he went to a special retreat where he was in a room that was completely dark for almost all day, and he said, "You ready?" Aaron Rodgers out of context. When I came out of the darkness, something changed. Bane, okay, he did.
Now, it sucks because I love Miles Sanders and Rashad Penny is not Miles Sanders, of course.
Don't get me wrong.
But
Penny is a good running back.
yeah,
Great
he's a good running back. He's injury prone. That's an issue. But we do have a mobile quarterback who can he can clearly throw the ball. He can run with the ball. He can hand the ball. Like, he's not.
Yeah, you guys are
He's
like,
all right.
We don't need a top number 2 running back. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just Kylie waxing and waning about how great Jalen Hurts is. Jalen Hurts has this incredible season. Calvin, yeah, he's all right.
He's all right.
top 5 quarterback. Top 5 quarterback.
He's probably up there. So
He's
looking
definitely up there.
at some
Top
of the
five.
other.
Look,
NFL?
if I am saying this about Hurts, it is true. I was the biggest Hurts hater that everybody knows last year.
That's true. She was.
Up. He has shut me up entirely. He has proven me wrong. He has made me look stupid. He's a top 5 quarterback.
Fair enough.
In the whole NFL.
Yeah, name 5 quarterbacks better.
Patrick
Pat
Mahomes, Aaron
Joe Burrow.
Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen,
No. I won't put Josh Allen in front of him. I won't. All right. So then he is the top 5 quarterback. I won't put
Wait,
Josh
wait, wait. I can, I can
Bam!
find, I can find somebody
Bam!
better. I can find somebody better. Hang on.
8, Lamar. Lamar is better than Jalen. I don't care. Lamar has never had the weapons Jalen has had.
I'll
Yeah,
give you
Lamar
that.
Jackson.
I'll give you
Lamar
Lamar. I'll give you
Jackson.
Lamar.
Unanimous MVP.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Lamar, the Ravens have. Let me pull this up because I have the tracker right here. So the Ravens have given him a non-exclusive franchise tag. So Jackson is
Yeah.
free to talk with other teams, but he is
Baltimore
franchise
can
tagged by
match
the
or
Ravens.
get 2 first-round picks.
Ravens' only other sign so far they've made is that they have re-signed Trayvon Mullen for a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
I heard he's not signing that franchise tag.
Yeah, I think he was like disputing it on Twitter or something.
Yeah, he said he's not playing if he has to play on that. He wants a deal.
Yeah, he shouldn't have to play on a
They should pay
on a
him.
franchise tag.
They
should
should
pay him. I don't understand why they're not paying him. Look
So
at the crappy situation Lamar is in. He has terrible weapons.
Because it's so much easier to
It's
throw
easier to
the
blame the
quarterback
quarterback.
under. It's easier to throw the
Yes.
quarterback under the bus to address the real issues. I know this for a
Yeah,
fact because
exactly.
for years that was the issue with Tampa Bay. We just would not address the real issue, which was that Jameis Winston sucked, and we had an amazing team built up, but our quarterback was trash. Look what happened. We got a good quarterback.
Yeah.
We won the
And
Super Bowl.
Look, if it was me, I am so sick of this Lamar Jackson situation. Pay this man. Look at what he has done. He has gotten you to the playoffs every single year except this past year. And this past year, if
If he's playing last year, the Bengals, the Ravens, if he stays healthy, the Ravens probably win the North. Because I know that might be a stretch, but maybe they win the North.
I'll put it
Or-
to you like this. It's
Baltimore is not
statistically-
Tampa Bay.
I know.
It's statistically proven that the Ravens suck without Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
No,
why
they
would
made
you
the
not
playoffs this year?
why would you not
What?
pay the guy that makes your team better? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Then
Look.
Because once again, it's so much easier to throw a quarterback under the. It's so much easier to blame everyone else than to throw the quarterback under the bus because
They
is
did
the
offer
face of
him-
the franchise.
they did offer him 3 years, 133 million guaranteed, but
He said they did. Oh yeah, he said they did. They did.
because
Bump that up a little bit. I'd take that deal though. That's the thing. Because he deserves to be paid more. But you got to remember too, the Ravens haven't won a Super Bowl yet with him. And
1,000%. But the Giants haven't won shit with Daniel Jones, and you're telling me that Daniel Jones is only $27 million less. No, Lamar Jackson's only $27 million more better than Daniel Jones. That's just absolutely crazy to me.
And I get your
Yeah.
point, but you have to remember
But we all
the New
know
York
Daniel Jones
Giants
is
are
overpaid.
the Giants are being extremely stupid right now. There is a difference
Yes.
between the front office of the Giants and the Ravens. In that when the
Like-
Giants do something like this, we're like, well, typical Giants. But when the Ravens are doing what they do with
It's
Lamar,
true.
you're like, what the hell is going on? Because the
Yeah,
Ravens historically have always had a really good front office. They've never really
Yeah,
been
we
ter-
expect better.
There's a reason the Ravens have never had a period of their history where they've been consistently bad. The Ravens
Yeah.
have almost exclusively, with the exception of their first few years in Baltimore, they've almost entirely been good. They have,
Have they
never
ever had a first overall draft pick?
No, they haven't, because the Ravens have always been good. Well, actually, wait, when they were a franchise, hold on. They
Cleveland
might
doesn't count. Cleveland doesn't count.
did they have no? Did they have the first overall pick when they moved to Cleveland?
You mean when they moved to Baltimore from
1996.
Cleveland?
Yeah, no, hang on, I got that wrong. 1996 Baltimore Ravens. They had the fourth overall pick. Okay, god damn, this draft class is amazing. Jonathan
Yeah.
Ogden, Ray Lewis, Jermaine Lewis. God damn.
Yeah. So, look, it's really annoying because Calvin, you and I are huge, and I guess you are too, Isaac. But we are huge Lamar defenders because look at what this man has had, especially it's kind of like almost like Carson Wentz with the Eagles. It's not exact, obviously. Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Wentz. There's clear, no doubt. But in the sense that both players had zero weapons. I am so low on Hollywood Brown. I don't consider him a weapon. But that's just me because I don't like him. And Rashad Bateman gets hurt. It's a fact. It's not saying he's not good, but he is injury prone. So The only weapon Lamar really has consistently is Mark Andrews.
I just want to jump in here because it's just been made official on the Pat McAfee show. He's a
What?
Jet.
I told you. He's a friggin' Jet.
It's
Told you.
It's Brett Favre all over again. Packers fans are like curled up in a corner, screaming, like rocking back and forth, confused, screaming like, "Not again! They can't keep getting away with this." Because you know what's going to happen. 1 year in New York, Sucks is going to end up re-signing with Minnesota.
My brother
It always happens.
My brother, his cousin is a Jets fan, and Jordan Poyer's with the Jets. Cool. I don't or the Bills.
Bills.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, and
Dude, the Jets play
I was
the Packers
wrong in the
next
beginning.
year.
They might. Rodgers is becoming the one thing he hated the most. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hang on. I can see it now in my face. You were the chosen Packers fans right now. You were the chosen one. It was said you would help the Packers, not leave us. Defeat the Jets, not join Favre.
This is what I will give you now, Kylie. Jalen Hurts is definitely the best quarterback in the NFC now, with Rodgers gone.
Yeah.
In the whole entire NFC, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback. There's nobody else in the NFC.
No, there isn't.
I mean, there's that guy Tampa's got, but like, you know, that's
what does Tampa have? Baker Mayfield?
Kyle Trask, respect
That's
him.
number one overall pick, Baker Mayfield, to you, good sir.
Baker Mayfield.
Respect Kyle Trask, Gators legend.
They do not play the. Damn it, they play the Giants, but they don't play the Jets. That sucks.
That's crap.
Well, Favre didn't get to play the Packers when he joined the Jets, so it's okay. It'll be fine when Rodgers joins the Lions.
Rodgers plays the Commanders, though. I have to go to that game.
You have to, bro.
Does he? Yeah, he does.
No, but this is kind of irritating. I mean, we all knew once Aaron Rodgers sent the Jets a wish list of players he would like the Jets to acquire. Was that a grand slam?
Did they just hit a grand? Did we hit a grand slam, or did you hit a grand slam?
Damn it! Never mind. Sorry. However, we knew that he was going to be a Jet after he sent the wish list, and it was only a matter of time before he went on the Pat McAfee show and everything. But it pisses me off because he held up. Bless you. He held up the Packers and the Jets, who both could have been making other deals for other players in the meantime. So.
Why the Jets, though? That's the thing. Why the Jets?
Oh, they have
the Jets. I like the Jets, actually.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's talk about the Jets for a second. The Jets, they have a lot of talent around them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what the Jets have done in free agency so far. They're finalizing a 4-year, $44 million contract with Al Lazard. They've re-signed Quincy Williams on a 3-year, $18 million deal, which maxes out at $21 million with incentives. They acquired Chuck Clark in a trade with Baltimore in exchange for a 7th-round pick in 2024, and they've re-signed Greg Zuerlein. Yeah. So, and speaking of picks, we'll get into the big trade in picks in a bit, but so that combined with some of the talent, like I kind of get it. I still have to say, why the Jets? Because it is the Jets, but at the same time, I don't know. I watched this all take place in 2008. Okay, I was like. I was 10 years old when this first happened. And if I still remember how the Jets were hyped up as this incredible juggernaut now. It's like, oh, they got Brett Favre, and they went 8-8 and missed the playoffs.
No. This is different, though. These the talent they have around Aaron Rodgers, offensively and defensively, is a lot of talent. Guy like
not only that.
The Jets also beat Aaron Rodgers last year, so that might have been a great recruitment pitch as well. And then Odell Beckham might be over there.
Yeah, he might with Garrett Wilson and all that.
I mean, now I'm looking at it, to be fair, they were 7-4 before they lost 6 straight.
Yeah, they're not that bad of a team, and
they really weren't.
We all know the whole Zach Wilson thing. Yeah, we know. And I mean, Rodgers has always been and will always be better than Brett Favre ever was. As much as I don't like Aaron Rodgers, he is significantly better than Brett Favre ever was.
Well, I don't like either of them. I think Aaron Rodgers.
I don't like either of them either. Don't
Brett
get me
Favre.
wrong, I
Brett
can't
Favre
say
is
either one.
Brett Favre is a scumbag who stole welfare money for a volleyball stadium and
Yeah.
also like spread dick pics to people who weren't his wife.
Right, exactly.
And Aaron Rodgers
Exactly.
is a weirdo who eats clay. So
Yeah,
and
Aaron
goes-
Rodgers did nothing technically wrong. He's just obnoxious to me, and he's kind of.
Well, he did do one thing wrong. He lied about about his vaccination stats to the league, but that depends
Well,
on who you ask. That's
whatever.
different.
Yeah, so
I'm-
he did nothing.
Not
to
condoning it.
the-
Just saying
to the
that's
Favre
not condoning. That's different from Brett Favre literally stealing money.
Yeah,
from
the severity of what Aaron Rodgers did is opinion based. What Favre did is genuinely wrong.
Yeah.
But
I will say
us-
this though, the guy's a competitor because the AFC,
Yeah.
the AFC, in his division specifically. Now you have Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Tua all in the same division, and I guess Mac Jones as well. But
Does that really count, though?
Don't lump Mac Jones in.
yeah, that's why I said
don't
I
do
guess
that with
Mac
him.
Jones as well. So, but yeah, you have
Mac Jones doesn't deserve that.
Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, all in the same division. Plus, in that division, you also got Stephon Diggs. You also got Jalen Ramsey. You have Xavier.
Yeah.
Howard. You have all this talent in that division. And plus, the AFC as a whole, I was just telling somebody this the other day. If you look at the AFC and the NFC, it's kind of like the East and the West in the NBA. The West is the AFC. The East is the NFC because there's so much talent in the AFC. There's so much talent in the West. And then in the NFC, there's like a couple teams that dominate because they have so much talent, and then there's all those bottom tier teams, and that's exactly how it is. And so with this now, you can definitely say Rodgers loves competition because if he makes it through his division, gets into the playoffs, and then has to play a guy like Mahomes and takes down, Mahomes is the top guy in the AFC now. So you take down Mahomes or something like that, then it's like you got to look at this guy like, damn, years 15, 16, and look what he did with this team.
Yeah, sure. The Jets do not run the league, but
in 1968, people said that, but that wasn't the NFL; it was the AFL.
Yeah.
Who the hell on this podcast said the Jets run the league?
No.
No one did.
Comment
No one.
from Eric
No one in
said
NFL
no one in
history
history.
has,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they never have. The last time the Jets were, you want to? Okay. Hang on. New York Jets seasons.
So can we just talk
the Jets?
for 1 second? Aside from football talk, news just broke that Gary Bettman says the NHL is currently in a good place and no expansion in the near future or changes to playoff format. That's bullshit. I don't like that.
Expansion,
And
no.
they do have two new expansion teams, so I get it.
Expansion, no, but relocation, yes, because there's a couple teams that just aren't working in their markets. I'm looking at Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, move Arizona to Houston. Bring back the Houston Aeros. That would be awesome.
No, I don't like Houston as a city. No, they deserve nothing.
Kylie, gotta let it go.
No, never. But you were murdering the Yankees, by the way. So suck it. But
Hey Kylie.
let me have this. You guys are
Kylie.
probably gonna beat us on the first. Let me have it.
Kylie, eat my ass. We'll see you in the regular season, bitch.
But no, but relocation, I can see Arizona. I want Arizona to work. Yes, I get it, Aaron Judge. I get it.
Just
I
remember that.
want Arizona to work, and
It won't work.
if they get Connor Bedard, which I doubt they will, but if the league tampers and they get Connor Bedard, maybe that'll do something. I mean, it didn't work out with New Orleans and Zion, really, but it's a different sport. So
kinda
maybe it's kind of working, but like,
Zion's not doing bad. It's just it took a while.
oh no, Zion. He's crazy. But
I haven't seen Zion play a game in months.
yeah, he doesn't play on the floor much. So there's that. But there's because everybody automatically goes to Arizona moving and who else moving? But regardless, I'd love to see Arizona hockey work out. I think it can. But But yes, R.I.P. Bally Sports. That is a thing.
Yeah, we should really quickly talk about that because I do want to get back to the NFL talk, but there's a couple things we do need to talk about outside of that. Um, yeah, a bunch of MLB teams have lost their regional sports networks because Bally Sports and Diamond Sports both went bankrupt. They did the same thing
Yeah.
actually. So the NHL, the MLB has announced that for those teams, their regional games will be broadcast free on MLB TV, like free for everybody. Which shout out MLB for that. That's actually a dub. The death of regional sports networks is something that the YouTuber Urinating Tree made a full video on that does a better job of explaining it than I ever could. But so again, and I know I bring this up a lot in podcasts. Coming from somebody who works in sports broadcasting, regional sports networks are so important, especially in leagues where they play upwards of over 100 games a year, because national TV is not going to cover all those games. It isn't like the NFL
No.
where every game is nationally televised, sort of. It's on a national network. I mean, so the death of a regional sports network, that's crushing.
Yeah.
And it's something. It's something that is inevitable, with streaming becoming so with the rise of streaming, people aren't watching TV anymore, but regional sports
Yeah.
networks can adapt, and we've seen that in the past. And to see all these regional sports networks just start dying off and going bankrupt is really, really upsetting. So
Yeah, and I mean why I like baseball a lot and why I feel so connected and more in tune with my baseball team and basketball team than I do my football team, although Philadelphia is a football first city.
I'd actually argue that Philadelphia is a boxing first city, and that's not because
No,
I just rewatched all the
absolutely
Creed.
not.
Hey,
No.
hey, hey! I just watched all the Creed movies in preparation to watch Creed 3, and I've also been rewatching the Rocky movies. That city is boxing first, and there's nothing else. If
No,
I,
it's absolutely not boxing.
you guys
first.
have a statue of a fictional boxer.
Yeah, we don't care about that statue as much as everybody thinks we do. It's a tourist trap.
Oh, that's bullshit. I know you guys pray to that statue.
No, we don't. What we do is pray that the team that's playing against us puts a jersey on that statue and
Well-
ruins it for that team and we win.
The Chiefs put a jersey on there. and
No, they didn't. That was a fan. Shut up. That was a fan. That was an Eagles fan that did it. That was an
Oh,
Eagles fan.
so
Well,
it works as reverse
that's why.
psychology then.
You jinxed
They
you
tried
jinxed
to do
yourself.
it reverse psychology and it bit us in the ass.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. However, why I feel the most connected to my baseball and basketball teams, more baseball than basketball, is because we have a local broadcast. We have NBC Sports Philadelphia. They do basketball and baseball, and a lot of people don't like who our basketball announcer is. They don't really like Kate Scott. I love Kate Scott.
Wait,
'Cause people don't-
your lead announcer is a woman?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
not to a
Huh.
lot of people, but
Well, they can suck it.
well,
Do they not like her because she's not good, or do they not like her for another reason?
a bit of both actually. She's not as enthusiastic. We had a legend before, so when somebody,
Ah.
especially a woman, tries to replace a legend, people get their panties in a bunch. And
I just want to make this clear. Like some of my favorite sports announcers are is one of my favorite sports announcers is Doris Burke. Whenever she calls NBA
I
games,
love Doris.
I'm like y'all gotta at some point y'all gotta understand. Like, there's nothing wrong with someone from a different gender like calling sports, especially if they're
Yeah.
not calling men sports. There's nothing wrong with that shit. Like,
Right.
if you have an issue with an announcer, make it be an issue that they're not enthusiastic or they don't do a good job. Don't make it because they're of their gender. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
stupid.
mean, Kate Scott has missed a couple things and she hasn't been excited. But like when Embiid made that shot against the Raptors to seal it and gave us a 3-0 lead in the series, her reaction is tattooed on my brain forever. It was a great call. I love her, and the Phillies broadcast is absolutely amazing. I love Tom McCarthy. I love Tom Kruk or John Kruk. I don't know why I just said Tom. John Kruk. I love them. They're my guys. So we are lucky. And Isaac, the Yankees broadcast is very, very good.
Michael
well.
Kay is the best announcer in baseball.
He's very, very good. I love him. His call with the Phillies against the Cardinals and Harper hits a home run. That's also tattooed in my mind forever. So
I'm working to be
we're
like Michael Kay
lucky
one
to
day.
have such good broadcasting.
Yeah.
And with sports cities as big as ours, Isaac or Calvin, I'm biased. I don't like your announcers. That's complete bias though. So if I
I,
can
I
avoid the Mets broadcast, I always will. But that's solely because they are the Mets and nothing else. Um, they do a good job as a Mets broadcast. So all three of our teams are very lucky to have good broadcasting. And so when we have crappy announcing in football, it takes it away. And I want local broadcasting for each team. I'm sick of like hockey. We have local broadcasting too. I love the Devils broadcasters. They're great. Um, Speaking of which, I went to the Devils Caps game on Thursday where we won in a shootout. It was beautiful. Um, but broadcasters, like, I love local broadcasting. It gives us something unique to our team and our city. You know?
yeah,
That's my rant.
I
More
like that
local
rant.
podcasts.
I like that rant. I agree. Quickly want to talk about a couple more things before we get back because there's a couple more NFL things I want to talk about. But a couple things to quickly go through. Puerto Rico got a perfect game in the World Baseball Classic over Israel, but asterisk they used 4 different pitchers. So does it really count?
No.
No, it doesn't. March Madness brackets are out. I have what
Schefter.
what
Schefter texted, I guess, texted Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers texted him back, lose my number. Good try, though.
Oh no!
I
Oh
don't know how
no!
true that is, but that's hysterical if Rodgers did actually do that, that arrogant asshole.
Wait, he also said, this is a shout out to Packers. He said, when I came out the darkness, something changed. I went into the darkness 90% retiring, 10% playing.
This
Wow.
goofy, he's acting like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. He's just being a goofy villain. But anyway, I know we don't talk about college basketball, but I just wanted to briefly bring this up because March Madness has started. It's amazing. I didn't watch any college basketball this year, but the second March Madness starts, I pull up the app and start watching the games. I've got Houston winning the title in the men's bracket and Iowa winning in the women's bracket. I know that's controversial because South Carolina's got undefeated in women's basketball this year, but I'm telling y'all, Caitlin Clark is special over in Iowa.
I liked the Houston pick until their best player got an injury. I was watching that game the other day.
Didn't think about that.
Not the game before Memphis, because I know they lost to Memphis. But I mean, not the Memphis game, but the game before Memphis, he had gotten injured. I think he should be back for the first game of the actual tournament, but he injured his groin area. So, I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be down the line there.
So my champion. Let me pull this up because I actually need to double check, make sure. So my Final Four for the men's.
I like Alabama, man. Everybody doesn't like Alabama, but I like Alabama.
Football school. I don't care. It doesn't make sense for them to be good at basketball. So here is my Final Four. My Final Four for the men's is Houston, Kansas, Alabama, and Michigan State. The reason I have Michigan State going so deep is because, remember, they're playing for more than just basketball. There was that mass shooting that happened on the campus, and we've seen in the past when a tragedy happens to a team, they generally use that as motivation to go out and play. So I have Michigan State going actually to the national championship game against Houston, where they will lose because Houston is that good. But
I have 3 out of 4 that you have there. I have Houston, Kansas, and who's the other one? Bama. But then I also have Duke.
I have Duke losing to the Elite Eight. One team I have going deep into the Sweet 16 for a big upset, I should mention. If you don't know anything about the College of Charleston, they trail only Houston. They tied Houston for the best record in Division I basketball. They play in the same conference that my alma mater, Towson, plays in. They are going to be very scary, and I think they will make a deep run.
Another sleeper team is the 9 seed FAU Owls.
Those
guys, they are legit. I have great defense.
I have them get into the second round, but then they play Purdue, and
Purdue's really good.
Yeah.
Purdue is really good, but if you shut down Zach Edey, then it's kind of easy to beat Purdue.
So my final four for the women's bracket, because it's just as fun to watch, is South Carolina, undefeated, Iowa, Caitlin Clark, UConn, because I'd be crazy not to include UConn, right?
Yeah.
And UNLV, because I don't know y'all know this, UNLV's only lost twice all season and are somehow ranked an 11th seed. They've only played one top 25 team, that should be noted, but they still go deep. So.
My sleeper in the girls bracket would be Iowa State.
I think I have Iowa State. I have Iowa State getting to the second round and losing to Tennessee.
Yeah, they impressed me in the Big 12 championship the other day. I was actually watching that game live.
Yeah, but I have Iowa playing UConn for the national championship. I think Iowa's going to be the team that finally upsets this South Carolina juggernaut because, I mean, you win 32 straight games, 16-0 in conference, 5-0 against top 25 teams. You better have a good team beating you, and I think this Iowa team can get it done.
What's their star player? Iowa's star player?
Caitlin Clark, who's probably going to be the number one draft pick for the WNBA.
She's a bucket.
Caitlin Clark's one of those players who you look at and you're like, okay, she could be one of the players who, gets people to actually show up to watch WNBA games because
Paige Bueckers too.
I will forever say this
about
the WNBA. The WNBA deserves a lot more respect.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people like to clown on it because, it's women's basketball. Dude, it's still basketball. And I'll admit, there's a time when I was like, oh, no, women's basketball, I'm not interested in that. But then I started calling women's basketball games at my job and realized, it doesn't have there's no dunks and it's not as super flashy, but it's still good basketball. Basketball is basketball. That's my take.
It's hard for me to watch the WNBA. I fully support it, but it's kind of hard to watch it because it's not as fast paced, it's not as physical, it's not as
I get that.
As the NBA. And I think it's like the NBA was in its early years. So I'm not, I'm never gonna crap on the WNBA. I'm always gonna support it. But it's hard to watch.
I see it as a throwback to basketball's old days, and that's not a bad thing. And if you don't like that, that's fine. My thing is this: you can dislike the WNBA, but not constantly shit on it.
Right.
Whenever I see people do that, all I can ask is this: so why do you not just turn your TV off? Whenever someone is shitting on something in sports or saying something, making jokes about something, like, okay, you clearly are not liking this. Why are you watching it then? And it's like,
yeah.
But because people need to know. They need to know. It's like, dude, you clearly don't like it. Just don't watch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to constantly tweet about how shitty it is. Simple as that.
Exactly. Yeah. People are just ridiculous.
It is. Sometimes it can get boring though, because I was watching a game, not the Big 12 championship, but there was a game before that, and it was 21-17 at halftime, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yep.
This is absolutely crazy. To score only 38 points in the first half combined is just insane to me.
Yeah, it's low scoring and it is tough to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Can we talk about my Lakers for a second?
No problem. Go ahead.
9-3 since getting rid of Westbrook. Kylie goes ahead and mutes it.
No, I was muting myself because I'm
9-3 since getting rid of Westbrook. Went from the 13th seed to the 9th seed. We're in the play-in tournament now. Bron comes back in 2 days. Looking nice.
Is it 2 days?
Yep, he'll be back on Friday. And we've been making a great run. These guys in the locker room said they've been having the most fun playing basketball that they've had all season.
I love it.
Don't be surprised when the Lakers make a big run in the playoffs.
So, speaking of basketball, you guys know I am a huge Jokic hater. I can't stand him. Yes. He is my least favorite player.
Since when?
Forever. So when he missed his MVP case is deteriorating at a rate that is feeding families right now.
Yeah.
It's between Embiid and Giannis, and it's got to go to Embiid.
I still throw my boy Tatum in there, man. He had a couple games where he was inconsistent, but he picked it back up, and now he's damn near averaging a double-double a game.
He can be in the conversation, but he can't be at the top.
He's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, but not like the conversation as high as Embiid and Giannis are. I'd give it to him over Jokic. Because if you're gonna three-peat the MVP, you better be like one of the best players of all time, and you're not. So voter fatigue needs to happen here, and I hope it does.
I can't wait for Jokic to win a third straight MVP and for Kylie to just go ballistic. We'll reserve an entire half of the episode for Kylie's rant. You can be as uncensored as you want. Though I will jump in if you I will jump in. Certain things have to be bleeped out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bleep it out. But I don't see how it's anybody but Embiid as the number one, because I mean it should have been Embiid last year. The case they're using for Jokic this year is because he's the best player on the best team in the NBA. Embiid was that last year, averaging over 30 points a game. And so, like, the narrative changes for Jokic every year to try to get him the MVP, and it's not going to work anymore. Everybody's sick of it. They're shoving Jokic down our throats when nobody wants it. Dude missed a free throw, a game winner, and a game tire, and they lost. And they got their butts kicked by the Raptors. Like, there's... that doesn't happen with Embiid.
Let that have been any other superstar in the NBA.
Swear to God, dude.
A KD, a LeBron.
Let it be Embiid.
Embiid, like any of those guys, they would have. ESPN would have ripped those guys. Oh, missing game winners and blah blah blah. Is he really the superstar we think he is? And blah blah blah. But
yeah,
Jokic, he can do no wrong to ESPN. These guys, I watched them, like you said, Kylie. Even that night that they lost to the Raptors, they were still praising this guy and praising everything about what he did that game, but he didn't make the game winner. He had not only one opportunity, but two opportunities to win the game that night and missed both times.
Yep.
But let that have been anybody else, and they would have crucified the man.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Embiid, dude. Like, and Jokic passed it instead of taking the open shot in the game, whatever game it was, yesterday, the day before. Whatever. They've lost 6 straight, and we've won 5 or 6 straight. Like, we've had a couple 20-point comebacks and won both games, and Embiid had a buzzer beater, the exact same shot that Jokic missed, Embiid made, and Embiid's averaging over 30 points a game. Like, you can't stop Embiid. You can say he's a free throw merchant. He's not. Like, the only thing Jokic can do better is pass. That's it. And we see how much that wins them games. I don't want to hear it.
Well,
the Nuggets and the Sixers have the same record. Same record. They're number 1 in the West. We're number 4 or 5 in the East?
Hold on, I'll actually tell you right now. They're 1 in the West, but they're only 1 in the West by 2 games.
Yep.
You guys are 3rd in the East.
3rd, yeah. So we're clearly still in the better conference. So he's not the best player on the best team in the best conference. That was Embiid last year, though. He's not averaging as many points. He's not they're going to lose in the first or second round again, like they always do. The only time they got out of the first round was in the bubble. And you know me, I will never discredit the bubble achievements. That's not what I'm saying here. But that is the only time that he got out of the first round.
The only case that they would have for him to have MVP over anybody is he is averaging a triple-double this season. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. But then when you go to Embiid stats, it's just off the charts. 33 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. So 10 more points than him, 1 less rebound. So it's just, I think Embiid has a very valid case. But then you go to Giannis as well, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. So, and then you even go to Tatum, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. So those 3 guys right there are averaging way more points than Jokic. They only have 2
Do me a
or 3
favor.
less rebounds. And for whatever reason, he's, the top guy. And
Do me a favor. Actually, no. I got you right now because you know me. I like to slander. Let's see. Come on, Twitter, please load. Because I looked it up. I was curious because I knew Embiid was a better one-on-one matchup. So let's see. Okay. So Embiid has averaged 25.7 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 3.6 assists in 7 games against Jokic. Keep that in mind. Almost a triple-double against Jokic. Jokic is averaging 21.9 points, so less than Embiid, 8.9 rebounds, less than Embiid, and 7.4 assists, barely more than Embiid, in 7 games against Embiid. So Embiid wins in the one-on-one matchups. He's on the better team in the tougher division. There shouldn't be a debate. But everybody likes to slander Embiid because he's from Philly. That's the only reason. And it got idiots like Greeny from ESPN just voting Jokic because he hates Embiid because of Philly. That's it. It's ridiculous.
No, I'm not going to start that argument. I'm not going to start any shit.
No, go ahead.
No, because I agree with you. I think that Embiid's been the better player over the last couple of years, but
He's always been the better player.
There's a very big bias towards Jokic. So
What?
I agree. What? What?
What?
What?
A bias toward Jokic? You or me?
No.
What is that?
No, the media.
Oh, yeah.
look at Lamar.
What is that? I can't
What
see.
is he doing?
Those are his shoes.
What is he wearing? Why is he wearing Lego shoes?
No, they're Pac-Man shoes. Look.
Oh my. Is that intentional or not intentional? Because I can't.
Looks like Commander's red to me, man.
Of course it does.
That would be fun to see.
Oh, dude, I've seen those.
What? The shoes?
The shoes. I've seen those. I know somebody that 3D printed them.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So
I can't.
He says he wears those to go gator hunting.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's a wonderful note to end on.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think. Well, once again, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching episode 60 of the Beer Better Sports Podcast. This show is a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Network. You can follow us up on all of our socials at @bbsports_pod. Check out our Twitter bio for merch. Kylie is wearing some of our merch right now. Take a look. Beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, it is. Thank you guys so much for today's episode. Sorry, Calvin, go ahead.
Before we go, man. Commanders, we have 2 hours. 2 hours, you can start getting them on the phone.
Yes.
It's
Don't
not
play
going to
around.
happen. It's not going to happen.
Sam Howell is not the guy, man. He might be, but he's not right now. We need a real veteran presence in there. A unanimous MVP. Call him.
You're wild.
Call 8.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And with
Oh,
that note,
man.
we're gonna head out. We'll see you guys next week for episode 61. I think it's only gonna be these
I'm going
two.
to Clearwater this weekend.
It's
Oh,
only
but-
gonna be these two probably next week because I'm gonna have to be working at my other job. So just keep that in mind.
Oh god, that's scary.
Yeah. Just know these next couple of weeks are gonna be tough. So just understand. There's a lot of games being scheduled that they need to commentate
Yeah.
for. Today was like the one Wednesday I was able to get off.
All right, well,
Sounds
we'll
good.
figure it out. We got you. We'll see you guys next week, though.
See everyone next week. Peace.
Peace.